Hi, my name is Sasha. Welcome back to Sasha Reads, and this is my November TBR. Hello! Long time no see. It's been a month. I am so sorry for the lack of content in October. End of September, I went on holiday and visited my auntie and my cousins up north. I was there for a week, and when I got back, I got hit with the flu pretty bad, so I was out of water for like 2 weeks. And then I just wasn't really feeling like doing anything. At least I got my Thick Thighs vlog out. And once again, I want to just thank everyone who participated in that readathon. I had so much fun. I will link up above and down below my vlog. And hopefully, if you haven't seen it yet, you'll go watch it and enjoy it. I had lots of fun. But today, we're here for my November TBR. I'm bringing back Pokemon Go. Chooses my TBR. So let's just get into it. So the first Pokemon I caught was a Yamask because it is Halloween today while I'm filming this. It's been a Halloween event for the last 2 weeks in Pokemon Go, so there's lots of ghost type Pokemon showing up. So I caught a Yamask. It's ghost type. Now, ghost type prompt was read a paranormal book. So I'm going to be reading Rise of the Witches by M.L. Jewell. I received this as an ARC, and it actually releases today, October 31st, and I'm planning on reading it in the next 2 weeks because I'm actually going to be meeting this author at Supernova in Brisbane, and I'm very excited. So this is about a girl called Eliana. Now, Eliana is a resident of Datura, and all their lives they've been told to follow these basic rules. Never leave your home after nightfall. The streets are plagued by nocturnal flesh-eating monsters. Anyone foolish enough to venture out after dark will meet a gruesome end. And the Melshame Forest is a place to be avoided at all costs. The creatures that live there make living in a town filled with flesh hunters look like a fairy tale. So, unfortunately, Eliana does get caught outside after dark, and things go from there. I'm going to say this is paranormal because it says Rise of the Witches. It's also kind of given fantasy, but whatever. I'm going to take that with a grain of salt. I'm very excited to read this, and thank you once again, M.L. Jewell, for sending me an ARC. And yeah, hopefully there will be a vlog in the near future of me reading this book and meeting the author. I'm also planning on doing that with another couple books in this video, so stay tuned. The next Pokemon I caught was a Piplup, and look at its cute little Halloween costume. Oh my gosh. So Piplup is the starter Pokemon in the like Diamond and Pearl generation, and it is water. And so the water type prompt is read a pirate themed book, and Katie Robert recently released To Kidnap a Princess, which is part of her pirate series that she wrote. I think To Kidnap a Princess comes with the Kickstarter, and then it connects in with her traditionally published book that is going to be published soon, and it's like a pirate book. I think this is Sapphic, which is so much fun. So it's been 10 years since the love of Juliet's life sailed away and never looked back. The date they agreed to meet again has long since passed, and Juliet isn't interested in waiting around any longer. So she kidnaps herself. Unfortunately, things start to go wrong immediately. Mora might have fallen in love with Princess as a teenager, but as an adult, she's all too aware of the obstacles between them. She's the most wanted pirate captain in the kingdom Juliet is princess of. It will never work. But when she receives a distress call from her princess, she doesn't hesitate to ride to the rescue. But it's not the reunion Juliet wanted. After saving her, Mora is determined to stick her on a ship home. Juliet is having none of it. She's got a secret key to Atlantis. She just doesn't realize the portal will take Mora and her entire ship too. Whoops! I'm so excited. I love Katie Roberts' writing, and I'm part of a Patreon, and she's just such a down-to-earth author, and I'm so excited to read more by her. I then caught a Pumpkaboo, which also has a cute little Halloween costume. Pumpkaboo is pretty much this Halloween event's sort of like a mascot. It's like just peak Halloween Pokemon, this Pokemon, and it is a ghost / grass type Pokemon. So we could go with 2 different prompts. We can go with paranormal or we can go with middle grade. And I will be going with paranormal, and I'm going to be reading Crave by Tracy Wolff. Now, I do believe Crave is one of Grace's from G Swizzle Books favorite series in the world, and it's giving Vampire Diaries / Vampire Academy. So we've got the main character's name is Grace. Is this why Grace likes it? Who knows? Lone mortal in an elite school for witches, shapeshifters, and vampires. Grace is a curiosity to some of her fellow students and an affront to others. When she is viciously attacked within days of her arrival, it quickly becomes clear that someone will go to great lengths to see her dead. So this is giving me, what's that one? It's the spin-off of Vampire Diaries and the originals, and it takes place at the school that Alaric makes for like his daughters and all the other supernatural beings. So I'm very excited to pick this up. I've heard different things about it, and I've also heard by Grace just to not take anyone at face value. I don't know. There's one person in this that we love, but we hate, but then we love again. I don't know. I'm very excited. She's thick. My gosh. But I'm excited. I then caught a Vulpix, which has also a cute little Halloween costume on it. Oh my gosh. And this is a fire type Pokemon. Now, if you have seen the Pokemon TV show, Brock has his own Vulpix, and I just love that. I don't know why, just Vulpix is so cute. Anyway, Vulpix is a fire type Pokemon, and my fire type prompt is to read a book with spice. Now, this book I think is spicy. I'm not quite sure, to be quite honest with you, but it is called Blessed by the Maiden by Demi Clarissa. Now, this is another author that's going to be at Supernova, and I have pre-ordered her book, but I also have the book on my Kindle. So let's read about it. It's a fantasy romance, so I'm hoping there's spice. So you've got 3 tests, 5 lords, swear a blood oath, or die. Born under the hunter's moon, Irene is a cursed woman with a secret. Fire burns hot inside her. That just sounds perfect for my Vulpix prompt. Anyway, but even the depths of this mysterious power isn't enough to save her. Tradition demands she is to the price of a failed human rebellion, raged centuries ago with her freedom. Surrendering herself to the Lord of the Wolves, Irene is whisked to the elven capital, Shadenhall. There she is forced to face death in 3 deadly trials, weaved to test her every soul, all to make a life-altering decision. Which of the 5 powerful ancient lords will Irene swear to? Irene soon finds herself caught in the arms of her captor, lured by both human and beastly desire. She was raised to hate his kind, but with every captured gaze, a soft caress, and rapid beat of her heart, that loathing transforms into a fiery flirtation, burning through everything she once knew for something new to bloom in the ashes. Love. Just as the Lord of the Wolves begins to consume Irene's every waking thought and his name on her tongue for her final choice, the mysterious Lord of the Shadows casts himself across her path. Irene must decide if she can love the wild lord who is more beast than man, or if there is something darker lurking in the corridors of the glittering palace that calls for her heart. Interesting. I'm excited though, and I love this cover. This book and Rise of the Witches is going to be in that vlog. And then I caught this cute little Sprigatito. Oh my gosh. This is the grass type starter for, I think it's not Sword and Shield. I think it's Scarlet and Violet. And it's such a cute little kitten. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. So grass type prompt is to read a middle grade. And I am going to be finally reading the sequel to Nevermore, Wondersmith by Jessica Townsend. It's been 4 or 5 years since I read Nevermore, so I hope I can jump straight into this. This is The Calling of Morrigan Crow. If I remember correctly, the first book is about Morrigan Crow, who has like a curse set on her, and she gets taken away from her family to go to Nevermore, and it's like a fun little middle grade. There's like trials and stuff. That's all I can really remember. But Jessica Townsend is going to be at Supernova, so I'm excited to read the book. This might be in the vlog too. I'm not quite sure. I don't know if I could do 5 books in one vlog, but who knows, maybe if I can handle it. But yeah, I know a lot of people love this series. There's only 3 books out of the 7 published so far, but I'm very excited to pick it up. I then caught a Drifloon, which is another ghost type Pokemon, but it's also a flying type Pokemon because it's a balloon. So a flying type prompt is Read a Sci-Fi, and I am currently reading with some of my besties in Discord here and on YouTube is the Clacanian series by Victoria Aveline. I still have yet to read the 3rd one, which was supposed to read last month, Saving Viraco. I think I'm about 25% of the way through. So I'm going to read it for this prompt, maybe read the next one too, who knows. And this is about Viraco and Lily. Pretty much you've got these human girls who have been taken from Earth and kind of been shipped to this alien planet by these scientists who believe that human women can procreate with the aliens there easier than the alien women. And because like this particular alien planet has like, I think it's like 75% men and 25% women. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, this is about our first non-human looking alien, Viraco. So I'm excited to see what happens there. This is just like a fun little fluffy, smutty book about aliens. So what's not to love? I then caught another Pumpkaboo. I also realized they have a costume on as well, like a little top hat and little bow tie, which is so cute. Pumpkaboo is ghost and grass type, so I can choose either a paranormal book or a middle grade book. And I'm going to go with another Aussie author because of something I will talk about later. I'm going to go with Marie Lewis's It Came From the Deep. Now, this is on my 23 books to read in 2023, and it's also an Aussie author. If you aren't aware, so Mel from Book Fan Named Mel and a bunch of other co-hosts like Steph, Ren, and Meredith are doing the Australian Readathon or the Aussie Readathon, where we read just a bunch of books by Aussie authors. A couple of these fit, like ML Jewel, Demi Clarissa, Jessica Townsend, and now Maria Lewis. So this is indie published, but it is like sort of book number 4 in her Supernatural series. And I have already met her and she signed this one for me. It says, Sasha for the Sexy Merman Sons. Love, Maria Lewis. So I'm excited to read about more mermen. I'm going to say it's paranormal because the other books in the Supernatural Sister series are paranormal as well. An elderly professor is murdered, leaving a puzzly crime scene for police to unravel in a laboratory housing all kinds of marine life. But something is missing. Something huge. Recent high school graduate Kaya Craig has problems of her own, with her career as an iron woman on the Gold Coast in jeopardy after a horrific accident. Yet, someone wants to hold her accountable. After nearly drowning in Lake Pilat and her attackers on the run, Kaya is left with more than just physical injuries. She's convinced she saw something in the depths of the lake, something that chose to spare her. Uncertain whether she's running towards the discovery of a friend or foe, Kaya begins digging into a mystery that may have bigger ramifications than she or any of her friends can fathom. I read Marie Lewis's most recent release last month, The Graveyard Shift. I loved it so much, and I forget how much I love Marie Lewis's writing. I don't know, there's just something about it that just sucks you in, and like you just feel like you're right there with the characters. And I'm very excited to read something that's set in Australia, in the Gold Coast, and yeah, very keen for this. And then I found a Team Rocket balloon, and I'm like, you know what? Let's battle this guy and see what we get from it. And I caught a Shadow Cacnea, which is very exciting. So Cacnea is a grass type Pokemon, so it's another middle grade, but it's a Shadow Pokemon. And I don't think I've done this yet in my Pokemon Go Chooses My TBR game, where if I catch Shadow type Pokemon, I have to steal a book off someone else's TBR. Now, I asked in the Discord, who has a middle grade on their TBR this month. And Amy from Ducky Reads said that she'll be reading both Wheelers by Jordan Gould and Richard Pritchard. I have read the first one earlier in this year, so I am going to be reading the second one, which is Custodians. So Wheeler, the Koori Warrior, is a middle grade written by a First Nation author here in Australia, and it's about this First Nation girl who basically her whole tribe gets captured and she has to try and find other guardians on the island to try and save her people. And we're still on that journey, but this one's called Custodians. So I'm not going to tell you much about this one, but I'm just very excited. I really enjoyed the first book and I'm excited to read more about Wheeler and her furry animal companions. Okay, so that's it for my Pokemon Go Chooses my TBR. I have 4 other books I want to talk about. First of all, I want to read The Assassin Thief by Madeline Tawu. She is actually going to be at Supernova, not in the space where she was last year. She's actually going to be with the other QBD authors, which is super exciting for this indie published gal. So she's going to be a literary legend. So this is a fantasy about Telium, who was once the most feared assassin in all Alcoria. Now she lives out her days in exile as she fights for her dominance over her dark gifts. But all that changes when an errant Fey warrior enters her domain, drawn by rumors of a powerful being said to be born from the shadow of the dark goddess Tenebris. With their kingdoms on the brink of chaos, he calls for her aid in his mission to defeat the mad Fey king and prevent an all-out war. But the road to the Fey capital of Miente is a long one, and haunted by memories of her past, Telia must decide if she can risk losing dominance over the darkness in her soul. It's given me like Selena and Rowan vibes, which I'm all keen for. I have met Madeline and she did sign this when I bought this from her last year, but I'm excited to actually read it. And she also, the sequel to this came out today as well. So many good books have come out today, guys. I'm about to talk about another one in 1 second, and that second is now. This month for the Maduran Chronicles read-along that I've been hosting with Ash from Ash's Adventures in Books, Caldorus has been released today by the wonderful Lynette Noni. This is the epilogue to the Maduran Chronicles. This is the 7th book in the series, and it's 5 short stories focusing on like different characters, and one of them is Avon, who, if you've read the Maduran Chronicles, is the main villain of the story. So I'm very excited for this, and Lynette is actually going to be at Supernova as well. I will not be reading this before Supernova, unfortunately, but I'll definitely be picking it up and reading it after, and I cannot wait to talk to everyone. The live show should be the last Sunday of November. If not, it'll be the first Sunday of December, but you will hear more from me. It'll be in the Discord as well. Any announcements, Discord and Instagram. So go check it out. Another group book or book club pick this month is Jan's Full Moon Book Club, and that's going to be The Twisted Ones by T. Kingfisher. This is a horror that I don't know much about, but I picked it up for $4.50 at Lifeline, so I'm very excited. When Mouse's dad asks her to clean out her dead grandmother's house, she says yes. After all, how bad could it be? Answer, pretty bad. Grandma was a hoarder, and her house is stuffed with useless rubbish. That would be horrific enough, but there's more. Mouse stumbles across her step-grandfather's journal, which at first seems to be filled with nonsensical rants, until Mouse encounters some of the terrifying things he described for herself. Alone in the woods with her dog, Mouse finds herself face to face with a series of impossible terrors, because sometimes the things that go bump in the night are real and they're looking for you. And if she doesn't face them head on, she might not survive to tell the tale. Very excited to read this with Jen and everyone else in the Full Moon Book Club. And then last but not least, we have Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. This is for the Baby Chaos Book Club hosted by Shani over at Shani and Books. Yeah, that's her name. And this is giving Big Little Lies. So we've got everyone in Shaker Heights was talking about it that summer. how Isabel, the last of the Richardson children, had finally gone around the bend and burned the house down. In Shaker Heights, a placid, progressive suburb of Cleveland, everything is meticulously planned, from the layout of the winding roads to the colors of the houses, to the successful lives its residents will go on to lead. No one embodies this spirit more than Elena Richardson, whose guiding principle is playing by the rules. Isabel, what are you going to do? Enter Mia Warren, an enigmatic artist and single mother who arrives in this idyllic bubble with her teenage daughter Pearl and rents a house from the Richardsons. Soon, Mia and Pearl become more than just tenants. All 4 Richardson children are drawn to the mother-daughter pair, but Mia carries with her a mysterious past and a disregard for the rules that threatens to upend this carefully ordered community. When old family friends attempt to adopt a Chinese-American baby, a custody battle erupts that dramatically divides the town and puts Mia and Elena on opposing sides. Suspicious of Mia and her motives, Elena is determined to uncover the secrets in Mia's past, but her obsession will come at an unexpected and devastating cost. That just sounds so good. Shani had her first live show this morning, and it was incredible. She did so well. She made up these slides. She did like a timeline of the story. She made some like really good questions, and like she puts me as a book club host to shame, and I just want to better myself now because of Shani. So if you haven't been a part of the Baby Chaos book club yet, I will link down the everything below for you, and also the live show that happened this morning about the Southern Book Club's guide to slaying vampires. That title is such a mouthful. Anyway, that is it for my November TBR. It expanded heavily while I was filming this, but these are some of the books that I'll be reading this month. Let me know down below, are you reading any of these? Are you participating in the Aussie Readathon? Any book clubs you're participating in? Are you going to Supernova in Brisbane? Let me know. I'll be there on the Sunday if you want to meet up. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Bye!